based on what I've seen tonight from the board, is unprepared.
Tonight, parents offer tense criticism after the Jefferson Parish School Board delays a vote on proposed consolidation zone maps. Good evening, I'm Meg Gatto.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. The board held the meeting tonight to gather public feedback from parents and the community as they consider several new attendance maps.
David Jones has the latest on the delayed vote that could change the lives for thousands of Jefferson Parish students.
Yeah, tonight the school board president saying that the vote on those proposed maps will be delayed to next week's regularly scheduled board meeting. But many speakers coming out tonight saying that they feel that the board already has their minds made up on these maps that can affect more than 6,000 Jefferson Parish students, or around 13% of the 47,000 students district-wide. Speakers who came out tonight expressing their frustration and outrage at the overall consolidation plan and at the proposed maps. The plan, approved by the board earlier this month, would close several elementary, middle, and high schools. Grace King parents came out tonight to protest their school's closure, saying they're concerned for disabled, special education students, and English as a second language students. And some parents in Avondale, meanwhile, expressing concern that under these yet-to-be approved maps, their students would have to be bused to Charbonnet and Wagaman.
It baffles me. Who drew the lines? It looks like somebody was drunk when they drew the lines. You're cutting out 4 streets in Avondale to ship them 25 minutes, but you're going to take kids out of West Wego from their district and ship them 25?
You're relying on redrawing attendance map when kids are being moved, are leaving this school system, white as well as blacks. Your job is to do some research and find out why this is happening.
The district says consolidation is necessary with declining public school enrollment numbers in Jefferson Parish. Under the approved plan, Helen Cox High School would close, Gretna Middle would close. This plan would also close Washington Elementary in Kenner and absorb it into Bunch Elementary, and it would close Butler Elementary in West Wego. Now keep in mind, just because that plan has been approved, the maps themselves have not yet been approved. Those have delayed approval going into next week. Now keep in mind again that board meeting is coming up next Wednesday at 6 o'clock right here at the Jefferson Parish School Board School Administration Building in Harvey. For now, reporting live in Harvey, David Jones, Fox 8, Local First.